Today is October 21st, 2015, and you know what that means. In a few hours at 4:29 West Coast time, all of Back to the Future will take place in the past. I recently rewatched the Back to the Future trilogy earlier this month, and it's a very satisfying trilogy. It's really fun. 3 is probably my least favorite, but it's still enjoyable. I also just watched Back in Time, which is a documentary about the Back to the Future franchise that is available on Netflix right now, and I think it's also on Amazon and iTunes if you want to watch it there. It goes over the making of the movie, and then it goes into the fan base. Like, the making of the movie is just like the first 30 minutes of the documentary, and then the rest of it is just talking about the fans and like the DeLorean stuff and all that. And apparently there's actually like a town in England where you can actually like participate in like part of Hill Valley. It's really interesting. And they have interviews with Robert Zemeckis, Steven Spielberg, Bob Gale, as well as Dan Harmon from Rick and Morty, and a bunch of other people. I couldn't read all of them. And I think the documentary isn't quite finished on the Netflix version, because the captions for each of the interviews only show up for like a second or two. Plus, there was no title card for the documentary. It was just a blank screen, and it said Back in Time on the bottom. So the version that they put on Netflix is actually unfinished. There aren't even any credits at the end, so that's really weird. The documentary is definitely interesting, though. If you're a Back to the Future fan, you'll probably enjoy it. I'm not as big a fan of Back to the Future as I am of something like Jurassic Park, but it was still interesting to watch, even though I think it might have been a bit too self-congratulatory, which documentaries like this have a habit of doing. Like, there was a point where they were talking about this guy who asked his girlfriend to marry him in the middle of this DeLorean convention, and it's like, well, that happens at like every comic convention, so why is this special? I don't know, maybe I'm just a little bit cynical about that stuff. But yeah, Back to the Future, today's the day, and all of Back to the Future is going to be taking place in the past now. So are you a fan of the Back to the Future franchise? And if you've seen the documentary Back in Time, tell me what you thought of it in the comments. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by now we're getting a bit used to winter. We're like soldiers in the middle of a campaign, growing hardened to discomfort and better able to take it.